Well, hello guys. It's been a very long time in between voice videos for YouTube. It's been a long time since I've done one of these. A lot has happened since I last done a voice thing for one of my YouTube videos. My partner and I, we moved from the UK to Australia to be closer to family in New Zealand, and we spent the best part of 5 or 6 months travelling and working our way to Australia for our new life here. And I've done a few videos, as you would have seen, between my last voice video and till now. I didn't do any voiceovers for the videos that I've done, mainly because it's quite embarrassing doing it in front of my partner, and I feel a bit nerdy when I'm chatting away and talking about plain stuff, and she's just like, "What are you talking about?" And I'm not a really big fan of my voice, and feel a bit, like embarrassed to do these sort of videos. But here we are. We're in Seattle. I've decided to purchase this during my travels. So I purchased this 777-200ER, and we are here at the what is this airport called? It's the Seattle Paine Airport, where they do the delivery flights for the customers of the brand new aircraft. And I thought I'd simulate something that the crew in New Zealand would have experienced back when they purchased these brand new from Boeing. So yeah, here we are with the Air New Zealand's. It's a stunning livery, by the way. This is I was very fortunate enough to grow up during the days when Air New Zealand had the livery previous to this was the turquoise and blue stripes on their 737s, 747s, and the 767s. But when this livery came out, well, that was 1996. I would have been about, let me think now, going on almost 10 years old when this, 9 years old, 10 years old, when this livery first came out. And I just remembered being so impressed, so awestruck by this exciting new modern livery. So here we are. This is the stunning Pacific Wave livery. This was the this aircraft, the 777-200ER, is special in many ways for New Zealand. It was the first brand new aircraft that Air New Zealand had brought since long haul, since it would have been tied between the 747-400 and the 767-300 back in the late 80s, early 90s. And apart from the Airbus A320s that Air New Zealand got around about in the early 2000s, this aircraft was the newest aircraft that Air New Zealand. This is the at the time that was a good, what would it have been? Almost 20 years. No, not 20 years. 10 years between new aircraft. So yeah, it's special in that regards. It's brand new, one of the most revolutionary aircraft that Air New Zealand had got in a long time. Also, too, this was the one of the final brand new aircraft to come with the stunning teal, turquoise, and blue livery. And this was definitely the last aircraft of the brand new aircraft that had the Pacific Wave livery. The 777-300, which New Zealand got, would come with the what would be the revised livery, which is basically the Pacific Wave livery minus the Pacific Wave. It's just the turquoise and blue, or they call it the teal tails. But yeah, this livery was effectively the last livery before Air New Zealand has gone down the path that it's gone down today, which is the black and white silver fern all blacks livery, which, I mean, it's quite iconic as a livery itself, but it's is it my favourite livery? Not really. It's a nice livery, but for me, Air New Zealand will always be the turquoise and blue. The turquoise and blue sort of, for me, I'm not too sure what the actual meaning behind the colours were, but for me, I believe it's to represent the Pacific, because Air New Zealand was a Pacific airline initially. Its roots, well, New Zealand is the Pacific Islands, Aotearoa New Zealand is the Pacific Islands, built up, we're all interconnected with the migrants, like with the Pacific Island people that migrated, worked their way through the Pacific Islands, ended up in New Zealand, and I believe that turquoise and blue is like the colours of the ocean kind of thing, and it represents the Pacific as a whole. But for me, these colours represent Aotearoa New Zealand's natural beauty, the blue waters, be it the rivers, the lakes, or the ocean, and for me, the turquoise represents the forest, which New Zealand was covered. Well, before humans arrived, it was pretty much 90% forest. And for me, the white represents like the snow and and for the Maoris, the Maori name for New Zealand, Aotearoa, I think sort of Aotearoa means land of the long white cloud, and the white sort of symbolizes that sort of connection with the and through the kuru through the white clouds. But yeah, that's my interpretation. But yeah, for me, this livery represents, for me, New Zealand, Aotearoa New Zealand, the blue skies possibly too, the blue oceans, the green, turquoise, teal, whatever you like to call that. That represents, like, for me, the forests, sort of the ocean's close to our coastline has got that dark, that greenish tinge to it, and then or it could be the sky and the ground kind of thing. And yeah, but yeah, this is the final aircraft to wear the Pacific Wave livery, brand new, and then the 777-300 would arrive in New Zealand with the simplified livery, which is just just this without the Pacific Wave livery. Technically, it's its own standalone livery, but most people would say this is the same thing, really. But yeah, this is the 777-200ER. I think in real life I've got all of this all added on just to give it a bit more life to it. But I don't think when they do these ferry flights, these delivery flights, they wouldn't have all of this connected to it. But I think in real life they would. The new pilots, which I could imagine would be an awesome job to be the pilot, that the privileged pilot that gets to, as I'd say in the car world, drive off the lot, out of the showroom. But I can imagine in real life they would board through this area here and collect the keys to the new aircraft, and away they go. But yeah, I thought I'd just pull it off from here. Gives it a bit more room for us just to have a look around this stunning aircraft. It's not as elegant and as the 300 is, but I mean the 200 has this different look to it. It's got that short, stubby look, that almost like a utility look, that this aircraft can do anything and everything. And in Air New Zealand's fleet, this aircraft was the workhorse. It did all of the short haul Trans-Tasman Pacific Island routes, and then it was also very adept to doing the very long, almost ultra long haul flights to Central America non-stop. And basically this aircraft, the Air New Zealand 777-200ER, is basically done almost every single international route that Air New Zealand had at the time when these aircraft arrived, except for Norfolk Island and I think it's Nui, which is Pacific Island, which doesn't have a long runway. But apart from those two, this aircraft has been everywhere. It used to be used to do the long haul flights from the flagship route from Auckland to London via Los Angeles, and then it also did the other lesser known route, which is from Auckland to London through Hong Kong, which I might do. I'll probably do some of these routes for the New Zealand. I don't think it went to Frankfurt, but I think Frankfurt was withdrawn by the time these aircraft arrived. But yeah, this is the Pacific Wave livery. I'm going to pretend that I'm taking this aircraft straight off the ramp, taking it back to Auckland for it to be put into service. But yeah, around 2004, 2005, I think this is when Air New Zealand brought these brand new aircraft, one of the newest aircraft for a good 10 or so years since when they brought the 767 and the 747. So yeah, this aircraft is quite special in many ways. So we'll get into the flight deck and we'll get it powered up, and we will get it on its way. But as you can tell, I'm not really a natural speaker as such, so please forgive me for my voice, and I'll probably be silent for a bit when I'm getting this thing turned on. I'm not really good with the small talk kind of thing, but I do my best. But yeah, we'll get on board. This is I've been using Flight Simulator 2024 more and more now. I'm really enjoying being able to do this. This is a real cool feature. Apart from the default aircraft, we have to go through and remove everything. Apart from that, I'm really enjoying 2024. There are a few quirks and stuff, but hopefully as this game matures, it gets better and better, and the need for 2020 becomes less and less. But yeah, we'll get in and we'll start it off from cold and dark, which I've got here. So we will come up here and first we'll turn on the batteries first, and then we'll engage the external power, and then we'll just turn on the APU straight away. I'm not a real world pilot, so I'm just doing things how I see fit. What I'll do is I'll align the INSs, whatever it's called, I think that's what you call them, all the gyros and stuff that show the aircraft and where it is in the world. So we'll go through and we'll just turn all of these on, and we'll get this plane reasonably all turned on, and I'm just going to adjust the time. So I want to leave sort of as if this was like first thing in the morning, and we'll get to Auckland hopefully in the afternoon. So yeah, I'll get into setting it up, and we will get this plane underway. So we'll go through here. This is all linked with SimBrief. I'll tell you guys, if you want to get straight into flying these aircraft are very easy to fly. So automated, lots of fun flying these aircraft. You don't have to go through all the Cessna and stuff like that if you don't want to. Like, I'm not a pilot or anything like that. I just do the simplified version. I don't go through. I'm just turning on the window heats. This is stuff I just learned from watching YouTube videos on various pilots, but I just sort of trimmed it down to make it fast and efficient for me, because I don't have X amount of time. I want to enjoy the simulator and get as much as I can out of it without having to dedicate lots and lots of hours. So I just do things on the fly, sort of relatively quickly, you know. But I did cold and dark just because this is what I think this will be all powered up in real life if you're getting it straight off the buying it brand new straight off the rank. But I decided to do cold and dark. Usually I do it with a sort of I've set a turnaround phase, so it's all ready to go, because these aircraft, as the real world pilots say, these aircraft are hardly ever cold and dark when pilots get on board it. They just, as I call it in the trucking world when I was a truck driver, hot units. These are basically these are hot units. They just go 24/7 basically, apart from when they're in maintenance. But yeah, so we will get this all programmed up and we'll get going, So we'll just go into here, position init. We'll just type in the airport, which is KPAE, and you just put it into there. Then you just copy this GPS, which is where your aircraft is, and you just paste it into here, and that should align all the various gyros, whatever it is that these aircraft use to figure out where they are in the world. And this is just easy. We're just going to go route request, select this, what I've got loaded in my sim brief, and in Navigraph, set payload, set fuel, and select route. And this aircraft is going to be very light. We're just going to do just going to select this altitude. Yeah, it's going to be very light. It's going to have 30 odd people on board, simulating like a proving flight like they would do with a brand new aircraft. And I'm going to I've been using FS HUD for the last few times, and I've been really enjoying it so far. So yeah, I've done quite a few videos that are going to be coming out over the course of the next few months that I did while I was traveling. But what I was going to say, I will put a few more of these videos in between. But yeah, I forgot what I was going to say actually. But yeah, we'll get going. And oh, I forgot to push the load first. Load our flight plan. While that's doing that, I'm just going to select these fields here. Alright, let's see how that looks. Just consult the flight plan, see if that looks reasonable. Yeah, all of these routes are all direct, so that looks all good. And we'll go to... Yes, I've been using FS HUD for the last couple of weeks, and I've been really enjoying it. It brings a bit more realism to the game, and yeah, that's really good. So I'll just turn on the sound for this. It's still got its quirks and bugs and stuff, but I am really enjoying FS HUD. Right, I'm just going to mute this. There's a little bit of a bug where it's got that, the weather information propping up, so we'll just sort of reduce the sound there and we'll just get this all configured for our takeoff. Right, I'm just going to mute that actually. Right, I think we've got the APU is on, so we've got that running. Right, we'll do the performance data for our takeoff. Yeah, we're taking off very light today. So I'm just loading up the weather, then I'll just go into the nav. Like I said, I've just got this down very efficiently. Right, just going to do the checklist, get that ready too. I'll just put the parking brake on. So you just, see I just push that button there to bring up the zero fuel weight. Everything's quite automated with the PMG's interpretation of this aircraft with the link to SimBrief and whatnot. I'm not too sure if that's like that. I'm guessing it's not like that in real life, but it just makes things so much better. I'll just reload this weather again just so it's correct. Right, that should sound a bit better. I think I just muted the Flight Simulator sound, so we've got sound now, which is great. Right, now we'll go to our performance and we'll enter this data. We need to do the thrust limits first, so we're going to do takeoff to 33. Actually, yeah, so we've got our anti-ice off and our pack set to auto, so we don't have to worry about that. So let's take off 2 and 33. And it's flaps 5, so I just select flaps 5 and that brings all of this relative data up. So you just click on these just to confirm, and then you just click on here just to bring up the center of gravity and the trim. So we'll put in our takeoff speed into here. $155 knots. So yeah, we're pretty much ready to go. We'll just do our landing dispatch just to make sure that we are able to land on the runway in Auckland, which we should have no problem because it's our main international airport. So we can now get rid of all of these ground crew. The doors can close up. We can now turn off our external power, turn on all of our hydraulics, turn on the passenger signs, turn on all of our fuel pumps, and we will still closing. Right, we'll get our clearance for pushback and we'll arm the doors. All of them all green shows, so that means they're all armed, and we can release the ground power, we can remove the chocks, and we can get ready, get our aircraft set up for departure. And we'll set our trims as well. And I might unmute this FS HUD for a little bit. Right, that's our trim set, so we can now, we'll keep that up because we'll turn on the engines and we'll do our flight controls since it's up. So we're basically ready to get going, folks. So we will set our transponder to that, select that setting there, and we will now turn on this aircraft. I do love the sound. You can hear the rattling of the engines as they're starting up. Brand new, well, they probably would have been tested and blooded in, but brand new engines. The livery is a bit worn. It's one of those sort of liveries that you get that are done for a very well worked in aircraft, but we'll just pretend it's pristine straight off the production line. Right, that's that engine turned on. We can now turn on engine number 1. And we might as well just get the traffic lights, the taxi lights turned on. And I do like this FS HUD. I do like, it feels quite simple and it's got the nice tracking there for your directions and whatnot. No, I really do like this. Oh, yeah, the engines are turned on. Do like that sort of classic grinding sound. Can't quite find the words to describe it, but it just sounds old and, you know, like it's got that really cool sound to it. Not too sure if it's coming out in the recording, but I do like the sound of this aircraft. Right, we will check our flight controls, make sure they're all pretty decent. And we'll go through that checklist again and just tick off these items. And we'll select flaps 5 for our takeoff. And we can release the parking brakes and we'll start heading out. So this is what I like. I do like, is the parking brakes off? Yep, they're off. Like I'm not hard out into all my systems and all the rest of it. I just want to get enough, do enough just to get it flying and feel like I'm doing something as well. But yeah, it's so simple to get this aircraft. As long as you've got Navigraph and SimBrief, it doesn't take much to get this aircraft powered up. And if you just simplify everything and use all of these different tools to your advantage, with the SimBrief and Navigraph integration. It just takes so much work out of it and just gives you the time you don't have just to enjoy flying these aircraft and making use out of your home simulator. But yeah, stunning livery. That definitely is one of my favourite liveries of all time. The Pacific Wave livery of 1996. Although I will do a flight with the there's a really nice livery with the old retro stripes, so I'll do a flight with that. But yeah, we're just taxiing out now out of the main. I guess this is the final production line. This is the part of Boeing's production line where all these aircraft get their finishing touches and getting ready for their new owners to come and collect them. Yeah, like I say, it would be a very cool privilege to be able to be the first pilot that collects these aircraft brand new. You wouldn't want to be that pilot that puts a ding in it, that's for sure. And I do like how you can just open up the windows like so. Just a little bit of... It is a very chilly day here at Seattle, but we'll open up the windows just to let some fresh air in and... And the key is for this aircraft is because the nose wheel is quite far behind, you sort of just wait for a bit of you just wait for that nose to come over a bit, and then you just sort of hard on the tiller, and that should get us sort of thereabouts, maybe a bit over the top there, but yeah, no, that worked pretty well. Right, we should shut the windows before I forget. And make sure you just lock it into place like so. Right, we can turn that transponder into that. Just get rid of that message there. Just disregard the rogue vehicles. It looks like a B-52 there, doesn't it? But I guess Boeing do make the B-52s, don't they? I'd just like to go through and make sure everything's all done correctly, which it looks like. Oh, and I forgot to turn off the APU, so I'll turn that off now. Such a lovely aircraft, the 777. I really can't wait till they get the 767s out. That's another fantastic aircraft. It's got that sort of similar vibe, doesn't it? The 777 and the 767s. This aircraft was basically the replacement for the 767s that Air New Zealand had. Another very, very famous workhorse in New Zealand, in Air New Zealand's fleet. Right, we might just change that to heading select because we're going to do vectors for our departure. There's no like SIDS at this airport. Alright, we're getting to our runway now, and with these, from what I've read on YouTube and watching various pilots, unless of course there's heavy traffic around, these aircraft, they do a rolling start, so you don't need to come to a complete stop, which is great for my lifestyle. Right, just wait for that to go across, then we turn around. That should bring us onto the center line like so. Alright, we're ready for departure, folks. I sort of don't follow all of this to the T because there are the odd bug and whatnot.
Ceiling 1600 broken. Temperature 10. Dew point 8. Altimeter 2984. Visual runway 16 left and ILS Yankee runway 16 right in use. Landing and departing runway 16 left and runway 16 right. VFR aircraft say direction of flight. All aircraft read back, hold short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact you have Sierra.
Alright, we'll start our takeoff. Get the engines warmed up, and then we click on this little magic button for our toga and listen to the roar of the engines. And like I mentioned, we're very light today. We've only got a few guests on board for this inaugural flight. Such a lovely view, seeing it climb out like that. And because we're so light, we're just powering on out of this airport. Alright, we're just going to turn on the autopilot now, make things easier for ourselves, and then we're just going to go... We've got our direct to Pearl, so we're just going to go direct to Pearl like... Oh, like so, and then we're just going to our nav, and away we go. What we might do is we'll just intervene with the speed and just sort of keep it back a bit so we can do this tight turn. And we can turn on our weather radar. We don't need our land radar anymore. There's such a stunning view flying out here. A lovely aircraft, a lovely livery. I wish Air New Zealand stuck with the its historic livery, its historic colours. But some things are just what they are. And I'm just going to get it up to, I'm going to turn these on now, turn on the anti-ice. And I'm just going to get it to cruise. I'm just going to get it up above like 10,000 feet, and then I'll just turn it on to warp speed and I'll leave you guys until we come back for the exciting part, which is of course the landing. Alright, we can now just increase the speed, give full control over to the computer, and yeah, I'm just going to increase the sim rate just a little bit, and then increase it right up to its max for our transatlantic part of the flight. We can release the passengers as well. We've only got 30 odd, like I mentioned, but will give all of those dignitaries of time to walk around the aircraft and explore the empty aircraft that it is. Yeah, such a stunning view, like I've mentioned many times, seeing it climb out like that. Alright, the landing lights can come off, and the logo lights as well, and they've given us this flight level, so I think that's when you can just go standard, so we'll just do that. And I think that's it, folks. We'll get a nice view. Let me know in the comments section if you prefer the inside view or the outside view, and we'll leave you guys and we'll come back to you when we come into land. One thing I do need to mention, which is really handy, is I love the ability for this aircraft to do these automatic step climbs. So you come into this page here and you just make sure this is on blue for automatic step climbs, and then that way it will automatically climb to these flight levels that you've got loaded up in here. Usually it comes up automatically, but if you want to be specific, like in SimBrief, you just go to this, you just go look for these waypoints. So we're going to look for 13.8, which is this one here, and that step climb is 38,000 feet, so 380. Make sure you push the S for the step, so that goes into this one here. And then our next one is that Auntie, so that's going to be 40,000 feet. S for step, and we just add it in like so, and then we execute, and that hopefully will work, and it will respect those step climbs. So yeah, anyway, we'll see you when we get nearer to Auckland. And we started our approach over, we're just flying over Great Barrier Island here. This is a really stunning island that visitors coming to New Zealand should do the best to come and see. I mean, it's a big island, lots to explore here, some beautiful beaches along here. That's the main airport that you fly into if you're flying into Great Barrier Island. It's basically an island that's covered in forests and a bit of farmland. There's a nice little hot stream that you can bathe in somewhere around here. Yeah, this is Great Barrier Island. There's a little settlement on the island. There's even an Irish pub, which is just around here somewhere. Oh, it's over here, the Irish pub. It's basically right on the edge. It's got a very hippie vibe being out here, very self-reliant island. As you can imagine, getting produce in is quite expensive. It's either shipped in or flown in. That's Great Barrier Airport just down there, the main airport that you fly into. You can do a combination actually. You can just fly in and fly out, which takes about an hour, or you can do either or, but you can fly in and take the ferry out, or vice versa. We took the ferry to, I believe it was the port here, the main ferry terminal here, which takes about 3.5–4 hours from downtown Auckland. And then we took a little Cessna caravan operated by Great Barrier Airlines back to Auckland Airport. I would highly recommend doing the combination. It's it's really cool. It's a really cool island to visit. And over here is the Coromandel Peninsula, which is another real top destination to visit. That's Port Jackson here, and there's a really nice dock campsite that's almost on the beach. A really nice view. You feel like you're at the end of the world, even though like the real end of the world for New Zealand is up here somewhere at Cape Reinga, but you still feel quite isolated there at Port Jackson. Beautiful beaches, beautiful, especially on that side of the Coromandel Peninsula, is really stunning as you head towards Whangamata, then to Tauranga. This is like, this whole area is, they call this the Hauraki Gulf, dotted full of islands. And that's one good thing. That's one thing about Great Barrier Island. It's really renowned for fishing too. So if you're into hiking and fishing, great snapper fishing off the coast there. But apart from that, there's just hiking, fishing, and that's it really. And we're flying over Waiheke Island right here. I'm just going to descend a bit, wind this down a bit more. But yeah, that's Waiheke Island. That's an easy day trip. That's about an hour on the ferry. An island that's famous for its vineyards and what used to be like Great Barrier Island. This used to be a sort of like a hippie area before wealthy residents. Before wealthy Aucklanders brought it all out, but it's still got a nice charm and vibe to it. It's a really nice place to visit if you've got a spare couple of hours in Auckland. There's a regular ferry which takes, like I say, about an hour and a half, and this is more built up than Great Barrier Island, and you can hire a car. Same with Great Barrier Island, we hired a car on Great Barrier Island, but here you can do the same as well and explore the vineyards and do some wine tasting and take home some wine. I'm just going to follow this now actually, so I'm just going to... Actually, I'll disregard that because that's fine. I'm just going to... For some reason it's really struggling at the moment. I do find when I pause this game and stuff, I notice the flaps and stuff deploy, which is a bit frustrating at the moment. Right, I'm just going to use these headings that ATC have given me. I'm just going to extend it out because for some reason I got a bit behind with the descent. Now we'll go for flaps 30 approach. Actually, we'll go flaps 25. We're just basically going to just do a little hold out here to drop a bit of altitude because for some reason, like I mentioned, it got a bit behind weirdly. And we'll better do this checklist as well. And I'm not too sure what that noise is in here. Sounds like a propeller almost, doesn't it? Which got me thinking, I thought that ram turbine was deployed, but it isn't. Anyway, we should start slowing this plane now, ready for our landing at Auckland. Got such a nice profile, doesn't it? I'm really happy with this. Now that's a very iconic, like New Zealand, and you can see how the colours really do match with our natural green and blue landscape. But yeah, when I'll have to do my little flight back from the UK in the game, because we did a flight from Edinburgh to London in the British Airways A321, and then we flew from there with Air India to Mumbai, and then from Mumbai we flew to Ahmedabad and we spent basically five or 6 weeks in India, and I'll recreate that flight, and I might do a bit of a travel vlog actually and take you guys around India where I went with my partner. Right, we'll see how this goes, eh? Yeah, it really does have like a propeller sound to it, doesn't it? Unless that's just coming from my headphones. Alright, we can now clear this checklist, and we're basically all configured for our landing. Flying in over South Auckland here, and the continual push outwards of the suburbia sprawl. And over here we've got New Zealand's only theme park. Well, I think there's a few theme parks around the country, but not to that scale. That's Rainbow's End there, with the only roller coaster ride in the country, and it's got a free drop there too. That's where the roller coaster is. That's Rainbow's End. For many of us Kiwis, it's a really cool place to go, but when you've been to the various theme parks around the world, it definitely is just a very small, minor theme park in the grand scheme of things, but it's still a theme park nonetheless. And we'll just take control now and we'll do this bit ourselves, eh? Like I say, I'm not a real world pilot by any means, but this is something I'm very passionate about, and I enjoy doing, being as realistic as possible, but at the same time too, I'm not a pilot. I just pretend to be, but at the end of the day too, it's all about having fun, and this flight simulator is the source of my enjoyment and fun outside of work.
Approaching minimums. 200. Minimums. 100.
It's probably one of the best approaches that I've had.
20, 10.
And I'll probably mess it up by going outside for a view. And we'll take this taxiway here. Landing lights and strobe lights can come off, and we can turn off these turn off lights. And we can also turn off these, we don't need the anti-ice anymore. And it's easy to get carried away, but we're not going to the international terminal just yet. We are going to go to the Air New Zealand's main hangar where they do the final checks before they put these aircraft into service and do the various like publicity photographs and whatnot. As you guys know, we're just replicating 20 odd years ago when Air New Zealand purchased these brand new, and we're just going to cancel this flight because we're not going to the terminal. And we're going to make our way to the Air New Zealand hangar. I can turn that transponder to that setting there. I'll turn off the weather radar, we don't need that anymore. Oh, and we'll turn on the APU. And there is the Air New Zealand's hangar there where they do the various maintenance of their aircraft. That is one of the original hangars that they had back in the DC-10, DC-8 days, and it's even got the old NAC logo on the back, which is our original domestic airline before they merged with Air New Zealand. And we're just going to park. There's no actual proper gates as such, so we're just going to turn off the taxi lights and we're just going to park it up here. But for your information, that's the GA, that's where the GA aircraft park if there's, because GA aircraft do pop in from time to time, and very expensive to land at, I do believe, the airport with its high fees, but that's where I believe the Cessna's parked, just in there. And these are the hangar terminals, not hangar terminals, these are all the maintenance hangars, and just off recent, a brand new one was built just in this gap here. It's all made from, without any like major support beams, it's just one big massive open hangar. It's one of the largest in the southern hemisphere, and it can take one 787 fully and enclosed, or they can take one 787 and two A320s, or four A320s can fit in the hangar, A321. So we'll just park it there, and yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll shut this plane down and release the crew. Actually, what we're going to do is we're going to turn off the APU just so that the dignitaries can have their little talk about the new aircraft. But we'll get the stairs out. And that is us, folks. After our long flight from Seattle, we finally made it to Auckland Airport. And we will do a few more, we'll do some videos with the 777, do some operations around the region that these aircraft were deployed on. But for now, we'll let you guys go, and yeah, we'll hopefully see you again much sooner than what it has been. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you again later.